Hey, hey, y'all, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I am the queen of collaborations, streaming live on the Crew Podcast via the Free Texas campaign, as well as the Crew Podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like always, I want you guys to take this opportunity to share this in your circle of influence because you never know what the next person may be in need of. We are exposing some of the corruption that has been taking place and plaguing the state of Texas in the judicial system as well as within Tdcj. So I have another guest that's going to be sharing his story on today. So I want you guys to take this opportunity before I bring my guest on to share this out in your circle of influence. For those that are just jumping on that do not know who I am affectionately known as the queen of collaboration across these social media platforms, but I am Angela Thomas Smith. My whole desire is to be the change that I desire to see in this world. I do that through podcasting, through my magazine, and through writing books. I am the author of Amazon say 87, but I still say 78 books, planners, and journals. I truly believe in being a voice for the ones that think they don't have a voice or an outlet to share their voice. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to move out the way because y'all know I have a lot that I can talk about, and y'all know I can go. So, I'm going to move out the way and turn the platform over to my guest, give him an opportunity to share his story. But share this out for me, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you would, please introduce yourself.
My name is Juan Rangel. Um, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I've been incarcerated since September 29th of 1999, when when I took my 17th birthday in 1998, I was arrested for 3 aggravated robberies and eventually sentenced to 102.5 years sentence, despite never being locked up as a juvenile.
Wow. So, the one question, are you guilty?
No, well, I'm not guilty of the most severe charge, but I got a story to say that the problem is that they charged me with something I didn't even do on all 3 accounts. And it's like they blew it out of proportion just to get a conviction. And it was right, and I can explain everything once. If details were to be verified from the way that they are, without the fantasy that they build or the story that the district attorney built, then I know for a fact that they would have to fix everything because it was wrong. 2 judges pinpointed, one during trial and one during court proceedings, 3 days, and they noted that they weren't that that was separate judges that noted that. You know what I mean?
So, what exactly took place in your case? What led to you being incarcerated for now? You said over 20 years?
Yeah, that's 24 years and change right now.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. On September 26th of 1998, I was driving. I was operating a stolen vehicle, and I was heading towards. I wound up finding out that I was actually heading towards a robbery. And I was basically eventually charged for it later on. But the thing is, like in 1998, I got arrested for robbery with any weapon, despite having a weapon, and which is cause number 1998 CR 6861. My lawyer, he was a court appointed lawyer. He basically, I stayed there 6 months. He says, I don't care if you're guilty or innocent. But he said, the thing is that they don't got no proof on me. That's what he told me like that. But either way, on March 22nd of 1999, I'm scheduled to go to trial. The district attorney at the time was Susan D. Reed, and the main district attorney was chasing me with Robert Matt McClure. Well, I show up for trial, I'm dressed and everything because my lawyer filed a motion and for me to be dressed. So either way, I'm there. And I never talked to this kind of platform, so I'm sorry. But the thing is that I went there, we're waiting, where my lawyer's objecting because the state wants to continue in. And my lawyer's like, well, you already indicted him back in December of 1998. How come? Like, he's been waiting 6 months already. It's like, we've been ready. That the victim didn't want to show up. There was just one victim back in the days. The victim didn't want to show up, supposedly, so they go ahead. They went ahead and granted the continuance and the continuance to the next day. So I go again, dressed up again. Same thing happens. The judge, Mary Roman, she brings up the and then hey, you're the one that served the subpoena. And he said, yes, ma'am, and this and that, and handed it straight to the victim. The victim, he acknowledged it and everything, but he said this. So on the third day, they do the same thing. The judge stuff. Everybody tells the jury. The district attorney, this is the thing that reviewed this file and. This is you ain't got no charge of aggravated robbery. The only thing you got is step a vehicle or unauthorized use of vehicle. She said you either get him for one of these or I'm gonna let him go. Well, my lawyer comes back to me and tells me like, look, if you sign this paperwork right here, that they're gonna let you go today, but you're gonna give them a chance to review your case. But the thing is, to me, it's like I didn't do nothing. I possessed a man's vehicle, but the thing is, it's like I didn't have no gun. I didn't do none of that stuff like that. I mean, like, I wasn't even, like, they drew out the picture, but the thing is, it's like, I didn't even do it like that.
Okay, so you're saying you're guilty of stealing the vehicle, but you're not guilty of everything else that they're saying. You didn't do no robbery, you didn't have no weapon, none of that.
No weapon, no nothing. Okay, but the third is big because you don't understand what you did test or either way on. They let me go, I go to the world because I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? On March 24, 1999, the case was dismissed. I go back to the world, and on September 29, 1999, I was back because my 24, 1999 was my grandma's birthday, so I got to go see my grandma for her birthday. But I was grandma's boy. But either way, I was older than Uvalde, and I was already living fine. I was doing great, and on September 29, 1999, I was headed over there. So he shot me back to Bear County. Right when I went to Bear County, they served me the same day. I think it was October 12th, 1999. They served me 3 indictments for aggravated robbery. And I wanted to find out that they re-indicted me for the same case from 1998, which is that 1998 CR 6861. They re-indicted to 1999 CR 3348, and then they indicted another one, 1999 CR 3347, and that was his passenger or his friend. I don't know. That was his friend supposedly had been there. And then he indicted me for another robbery, which is 1999 CR 3349, which is I don't know what was going on at that point on that. But I just know that they indicted me 3 times. But I want to point out something with those indictments with those 2 dudes because in trial, this is in 2000 when I went to go to trial for the second one that I got dismissed. It came out that when my lawyer was like the first guy, he made this statement a long time ago. He said, I can't be sure that's one of the pictures of one of the robbers or not. In trial, he testified that somebody else was actually identified somebody, but no, there's no documentation of that. Nobody even noted that. Either way, when my lawyer tried to cross-examine the other guy, the 3347, my lawyer's like asked the district attorney, can I have his statement? They said, oh, he never made his statement. And he's like, all right, well, can I get the police reports where they filed a statement to the police? And she's like, well, he never filed a police report. Like, well, he never spoke to the office and never even wrote a statement to the district attorneys or nothing. So it's like, how did you get an indictment then? And how come my lawyer, he was a court-appointed lawyer, but how come he never even challenged that? Like, how can you just, like, you fabricated, you lied and said a story to the grand jury? You know what I mean? That's what I never understood. That's the thing that I'm serving right now. But, you know, I want to go to trial, that right there. And I want to find well, really, I didn't even find out that I was actually driving towards the location. I mean, in 2000, 2016, I went to find out that I'm actually towards the location where he got shot. And so I learned that he was shot on Witter Street in Hackberry. And then, like, there was some like ballistic tests on shell cases from that location, and there was 2 drive-bys done that night too. And supposedly all the shell cases come off from one weapon. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is that this lady, and then supposedly I drove like 500 yards up, and then I turned left on Denver Street. There's 2 drive-by shootings, one on the left side of the car and one on the right side. I was arrested with a 13-year-old kid who's never been charged as an adult. Like, it's never been charged with me or nothing. But the thing is, like, you got a lady got shot, you got 2 different drive-by shootings, and supposedly I'm the main perpetrator. And if you were to look at the map of those locations, because in 2016 I wanted to get back because I didn't know how I was getting stuck on all this stuff. My mom, she wound up getting it for me. But I wanted to find it like on 108 Denver Street and 135 Denver Street. That's where the drive-bys happened. Basically, Witter and Hackberry, that's where that lady got shot. If you were to put that on the Google Maps, because that's where I got this little mapping from, I was arrested on South Honest Street. But I was coming off the 10, Interstate 10 frontage road. I just got off the highway, Interstate 10. I exited off of Pine Street, and I went under the turnaround. Right there. But I kept on driving, but the tire was popped, and I kept on driving. But if you were to look where I got stopped, supposedly that I had got caught 5 to 10 minutes after the lady got shot. But I'm driving towards the location where the lady got shot. I never even knew that. So the thing is, if you look at exactly where I was apprehended, like on Olive Street, and then when they saw me, then I turn right on the street. But if you see where the jumpers were done and where the lady was shot, you're gonna wonder, like, how did that happen? Because the thing is this, in trial, they never even told the jury that the car never even matched the description of the color of the car never even matched Miss Medina before she got shot. The car is a small blue four-door car, possibly a Honda Civic or a Mazda Prodigy or something like that. I don't remember, but the thing is, made a specific statement, and then I'm toward the location in the front, and those 2 are the one I went up to her. But either way, is that that's the problem. Then the people that I was in, they did 2 drive-by because they said the shell cases all matched up. It's like there's no gunpowder in the vehicle. There's officers tested the car inside and outside. There was no gunpowder in the vehicle. They said it was a Tech 9 or no gun unit. So it's like you got a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. There's no gunpowder on my hands or his hands or in the car. You got a bunch of shell casings, but you got no gun, and the car don't even match. But all of this stuff didn't get disclosed, like the drive-by shooting, because in trial, all of a sudden the chain of custody got messed up, supposedly with the shell cases. But the thing is, there were still reports before that matched it up together. But in trial, they weren't allowed. You know what I mean? Because they were painting a different picture that would confuse the jury, because it's like, how did this happen? You know what I mean?
Like, it's like they can do whatever they want to do and fabricate whatever they want to do to make it go the way they want it to go, because it just don't add up. It's a lot of stuff that just don't add up with the state of Texas and how they do stuff. Like, it's so many holes. Like, how do you get here if this didn't happen? Like, I mean, it's like in some cases they don't even use common sense, but I guess common sense ain't common to some people. And that's what I'm finding out.
So there's a detective Matt Herman, 2015, was the detective told her, "You told me one of the persons that I talked about was named Juan. He was identified as one of the persons that robbed its owner from his vehicle." You know what I mean? It's like the thing is, he testified that he never identified that he was talking about my eyebrows. The other guy, the guy that was next to me, his head. It's like she was composing a picture of a person, and she looked at my eyebrows, and she said that was his head. Off of people. So either way, this man testified saying Mr. Dillon never identified. So if you got no gunpowder, the car don't even match. No gunpowder in the car. What's the direction where the lady got shot? Did the district attorney pick up this case against me to, like, who told her about this case to even put me as the perpetrator? That's what I'm suspecting. That's what I never understood.
Yeah, you said what you the name that you said in the beginning, the district attorney. I think that was the same district attorney that was involved in a lot of that corruption that has taken place over the last 2 or 3 decades. What was the name again?
Uh,
Yeah, that's it. That's the name. You talk about you do a survey, and this is what I'm telling people. It ain't nothing like these. It's not like these people are sitting and conspiring against the state of Texas, the judicial system. Because if you pull these people, if you pull individual inmates randomly, I can guarantee you, if they were sentenced at the same time that you were sentenced, around the same time that you were sentenced, between the time Cornell was sentenced and you were sentenced, I guarantee you their stories are going to be the same. They stories, your stories, the way your cases were handled, the way they hid evidence, the way they kept evidence from being produced, and how the chains were kept being broken. That's going to be the trend and the pattern in a lot of these cases. And that's why we're trying to get the legislators, the elected officials, the governor. If the governor's not going to do his job, it's up to the people. It's up to the citizen to get this man out of office, because it's apparent that he's not going to do what he's supposed to do. Because anytime you can send $11 million out of the state to house inmates out of the state, you're taking them away from their family. You're taking them away from opportunity to visit with their family, and it's just crazy. It makes no sense to me when you can take that money, put it back into a rehabilitation program, a transition facility. Like, they need to have a transition facility where they can put y'all when they're getting ready to transition y'all back into society. They have no plans of that, because these people do not believe in rehabilitation, and they do everything in their power to keep these beds filled. All they want to do is keep the beds filled, because if they keep the beds filled, it's more money for them. It's a lot of corruption going on in the state of Texas that need to be exposed. And it's been going on. You talk about 3 to 4 decades. You've been locked up 2 decades and some change. So you fall under that 3 to 4 decades. It's what these people, you talk about 30, 40 years. You got people that have been locked up just that amount of time, 30, 40 years. I'm talking about, I listen to people's stories. Some of y'all been incarcerated half my age. Some of them been incarcerated almost as old as I am. And it's sad. It is sad that these people will not even look at these cases, and then they give you one chance. They don't care if you have evidence after evidence after evidence. You got one chance to fight your case, and for them to say no, because they can say no, they can deny it, they can do whatever they want to do, because we've come to find out that they have not even been reading the rights. They just been stepping them and sending them back. They not even been reviewing them. It's so much corruption in the state of Texas. It's a crying shame. And it's sad. And it's going to take the families. The families are going to have to speak up and say enough is enough. And they're going to have to get people in place that's willing to stand up and to speak out. Because you can't keep electing the same officials if they're not going to do their job. We talk about programs and rehabilitation. They don't believe rehabilitation work. It does. If you work it, it will work. It's been proven in other states. And then they try these kids as adults, and then they triple. They give these kids more time than they give the adults that commit the same crimes, and it's crazy. When you should be giving them another chance, because it has been proven that a lot of these kids, if given the right chance in the right programs, they will not offend again when they've done as much time as you have done. They will not offend again. And I don't understand these people. Like, what is your what if these legislators, these senators, Ron Reynolds, Carlos Sherman, Sheila Jackson Lee, Monica De La Cruz, these senators, Jasmine Crockett, and all of these people that are sitting in a position that say that they are for the people and speaking up for the people and the citizens of Texas. What would you say to them today if you had the opportunity to sit down with them and present your case to them? What would you say to them?
I would say that they need to do people a lot of cases. I'm not the only one. Like during this lockdown, it's like I was frustrated. There was a thing when I told out of 10 people in this unit to actually go work at the back dock in the kitchen. And it shows that the maturity of my age when I got locked up, it's like they still approve me just to be in the back dock where the 18 wheelers and everything come in. It's like there's proof that a lot of us changed. I haven't got a major case in 2009. So it's like there needs to be change because a lot of us don't deserve to be locked up that long anymore. I understand sometimes you have to lock people up so they can wake up, but it don't have to be to corruption, right? I mean, you just gotta give us a second chance because we're all changed. Especially when we've been doing 20 years, it's like it's eye-opening. Like we don't got that many years left no more. You know what I mean? And just hope and pray something happens.
And in a lot of these cases, it's not like y'all murdered somebody, y'all killed somebody, y'all just took stuff that didn't belong to you. You robbed people. You didn't kill nobody. Nobody was hurt.
I have 51 years and 3 months mandatory. On my first sentence, on my first charge, I actually did 2 years extra because the parole board decided to give me 2 set-offs. If at that rate, I was 17 years old. Now I would have to do 53 years in 3 months or so. Now because of that, so I would be 70 years old for my first time as an adult, which was 15 days after my 17th birthday.
Wow.
You know what I mean? The only reason I say that I was actually charged is because I was screaming and yelling and crying. You might as well kill me. I was messed up. And then my second and my third song, I didn't tell my mom and my dad. I went in there alone because I didn't want to hear them cry no more. But if you look at all the people that have been supporting me, like my mom and my dad always been there. It's just that I didn't know how to function with them in the prison. So they had to see what they were going to do to accumulate my sentences. That's exactly what they did. They went and accumulated all my sentences despite never being locked up. They didn't even take it into account. The judge did say they didn't have to expect on my sentence. Like, he said, you got your CDD? I said, no, sir. He says, well, stay out of trouble and get your keys and not think about running out to concurrent. But I never found it because I didn't feel like there was any room. I actually had a accumulated sentence of 102.5 years. I didn't really want to hurt her like that. But I finally told her, and I said, Mom, I wrote a letter. I'm pretty sure she had still. But I was like, Mom, if it helps you, go about it. Go ahead and pick at me. It's just like I wasn't getting all this time. My mama still couldn't. Me, but all it was just to live in secret, not tell my family nothing about what happened. My bigger brothers, my little sisters that were young, my mom was 15 years old when she had me. I couldn't just take away the little bit of help she would have been trying to get a lawyer, trying to help me. Like, I was in my father's life too. So I just stayed quiet. So at the end, I wouldn't really figure out. But I got blessed that she didn't die of COVID. She has a lot of illnesses, and it's like she has asthma, she uses a respirator at night, and she gets angry, and she checks her not. The insurance doesn't want to pay her checks and all kinds of stuff. And it's like she wants to help, but it's like how in the beginning she got to feel barrel herself. I mean, it's like
wow, that's a lot. Um, and I know that being locked up at 17, there's been so many cases that has truly proven that, you know, these babies ain't understand what they were going, rationalizing what they were doing. You know, there's cases in other states that they have reversed cases. They have given these people their time back. They have passed different laws because of the frontal lobe and the maturity of our youth, and not being able to rationalize what it is that they're doing until in their 20s. And I want to say they said 25. It's between 21 and 25. You look at a lot of things now. I question how and why would you give a child a adult sentence when they can't even go in the store and buy alcohol or buy cigarettes. Now they've upped the limit when you got to be 21 to buy cigarettes now. When it used to be 18. You got to be 21 to buy cigarettes, 21 to buy alcohol. So if you got to be 21 to do all those things, how can you rationally be able to take on an adult charge under 21? I really think that they need to look at the judicial system and look at how they are placing these kids and all of that. Um, I definitely I thank you for calling in. If you have time, if you want to call back, you can call back. I don't have anyone else on. I'm gonna be sitting here talking about this case and talking about what is going on in the state of Texas. Um, for those that don't know, I am currently in school working on my master's, and for the last two projects that I've had to do in class, it's been around Tdcj, and it's been around the parole board. Right now, I'm working on um, understaffing and overcrowding of the prison system. That's what my paper is on, and I'm just bringing highlight, and I'm just bringing a light, shedding light on things that is happening right up under our eyes, things that we need to take notice of, and things that you know we as people and citizens and as taxpayers, as voters, have the right to speak upon. Yeah, we shouldn't keep allowing people to do what they want to do and say it's okay. You can't continue to hide evidence, continue to ruin people's lives and then think it's okay and then apologize and then you want to give them a little money and then guess what? At the end of the day, the taxpayers are footing the bill for all of this money that is being paid back to these people because you've ruined their lives. When if you do your jobs and hold people accountable, I think every time a district attorney, a judge, or any of these people are found guilty of being responsible for ruining somebody's life, that they should be given the same consequences that they put upon the other person. When they start getting those consequences and having to go through what these people are having to endure, I can guarantee you you'll start seeing some changes. But see, you don't see the changes because guess what? It's happening to us. If it was happening to them, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't be having this conversation. If we were the ones in the with doing this to them, we wouldn't be having this conversation because it wouldn't be happening. But they do any and everything to us and they think it's okay. And then they make it hard for us to fix their wrongs when they can fix them, when they can make right those things that they've done wrong. But they get stuck in pride. They get stuck in all of that. But guess what? Y'all think all of these P. Diddy's and all these other people getting exposed? All these organizations, all these governments that's doing illegal stuff and wrong stuff, all these Swiss bank accounts and all this stuff that's being done underhanded, it's going to be exposed. No rock shall be unturned. Every rock is going to be turned. Everything is going to be exposed. So when you think you're doing something in the dark, know that you're not. Know that you're not. Know that you're not getting away with it. Know that it's not going to go unseen. Karma is real. And just because other people may not see you doing it, God sees everything. He's everywhere. And he sees everything. So when these legislators, these judges, these DAs, all these people are doing all this underhanded stuff and think they're getting away with it, guess what? Y'all, we may not see it come down on them, but guess what? They got families. They got families. Their bloodline is going to suffer. It's all going to come back on them. Because guess what? God's word is not going to return to him void. We can't escape it. We can't escape his word. We can't escape his wrath. We can't escape none of it. A lot of us don't want to talk about it. We don't want to acknowledge it. But he's everywhere. And he's in everything that we do. I'm telling you, a lot of us, we do stuff and we do it in secret. And we think that we hiding it from God. He see everything you do, baby. Everything. The cussing, the drinking, everything. He see everything we do. Ain't nothing. Yes. When I sit at that table, and yes, every time I take me a mixed drink, every time I have me a cup of wine, every time, yes, he sees all. Every time you cut somebody out, every time you cut somebody off, he see it all. So know that it's not going unturned. Governor Abbott, you need to do your job. Elected officials, y'all need to do y'all job. Y'all need to make sure that these people are doing their job. DAs, all of them, because a lot of these people are not doing their jobs. And they're getting away with a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are suffering. People's lives have been changed. And it's sad. Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
This is Mr. Drummer.
Hey, Mr. Drummer. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Yes, I really was. I enjoyed the conversation with the other young guy. Really, it's sad. And I was just thinking, this young guy, he said he was 17, but he was charged as an adult. I'm thinking now, 17, you can't even buy cigarettes. You barely can drive a car because I know a lot of places, if you don't have good grades and your parents signature and your school signature, you're not going to get a license. See, now they don't make stuff so hard and so strict now. You just can't do it. So why is it so easy for them to keep putting our babies and locking our babies up and throwing away the keys? It needs to be some change. It needs to be some change with the legislation. It needs to be some change with these laws. So we need to talk about how can these families of these juveniles and these young kids that have not don't have the mental capacity of an adult but being charged as an adult. Because in other states, I'm sitting here listening to other states, they have passed laws and people have been set free. Juveniles have been set free because they did not have the capable mindset of an adult to be able to conceptualize and rationalize what it was that they was doing. You talk about New York, you talk about a lot of these states that are passing that law. The frontal lobe has not developed, it is not mature. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, why are you calling in today? What's on your mind?
I would like to weigh in on. Hello?
What's on your mind?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to weigh in on that related to the juvenile situation of, these kids being convicted as juveniles and serving all this time. When they established the juvenile law, ma'am, they did not have a platform in place. What they did was they were trying to get tough on tough crimes. So when these juveniles started committing crimes, they wasn't stating that these kids were sophisticated enough to stand trial as an adult. So what they did was they were trying to convict every juvenile that they could get their hands on under that law. But what had happened was that these juveniles don't have the ability to confront the person who is certifying them to stand trial as an adult. Say, for instance, the doctor or a psychologist. What the individual psychologist would do, they'll take them in a room and they would do a little test with them and they will write out what they feel that this juvenile has done and feel that this individual is sophisticated. So what they'll do with that document, they'll send that over to the juvenile proceeding, and that judge will certify that child and send that child to the district court. When they get to the district court is a procedure. So now they criminal district court. And once they get convicted, what the juvenile court is doing is they destroying all of the juvenile records. And that's not what they're supposed to do, because now the kids cannot go back and find their juvenile records in order to determine whether or not there's enough evidence to show that they was not sophisticated. In a case right now we're dealing with Jermaine Hicks now. Okay, his lawyer just filed an application related to the Eighth Amendment. Okay, in the Eighth Amendment, the doctor, which is Mr. Dayton from Berry County, is stating that Mr. was not sophisticated enough back then 30 years ago to stand trial as an adult. Why? Because the doctor back then did not have enough information in order to certify Mr. Hicks as an adult. So now here we are 30 years later. Well, what they did on a hearing with Mr. Hicks right now as a evidentiary hearing, they're trying to determine what are they going to do with Mr. Hicks. Well, we just found out that all of Mr. Hicks' juvenile records are gone. And not only that, everybody's juvenile records are gone. And somebody ordered for the juvenile records to be destroyed by the probation department. So now they're trying to determine whether or not Mr. Hicks can get released, or whether or not he's going to stay in prison, or whether or not they're going to make sure that this applies to everybody. Well, the point right want to bring up the issue about the lost or destroyed records. Why? Because that affects everybody. So as of right now, man, we trying to figure out, like you said, how do we fix this? I think legislators are not trying to hear it. Our governor's not trying to hear it. These judges are not trying to hear it. So how do we fix that? The families of these juveniles need to go and demand for these juvenile records. And if these people do not have these kids' juvenile records, man, they need to demand for a new trial, a new proceeding on every case in the state of Texas or anywhere related to the lost or destroyed records, which is automatic new trial, man. That's where we at.
Wow. So I'm going to be sharing this out. People going to hear this. So they need to go to, please walk them through, because you have family that probably don't know what they need to do, how they can do it, or what to do. Because I know a lot of them have given up hope. I talk to individuals every day. I listen to individuals talk about their cases and how much time that they've been given. Like, it's ridiculous at the state of Texas that they give out time like they give out time. Like, I can't believe that they don't believe that people make mistakes. People make mistakes. And a lot of them have probably made mistakes. A lot of them are probably still making mistakes. A lot of them, if it was one of their family members, I can guarantee you, if their family member was to get into some trouble, I guarantee you some laws would change. But laws don't start to change until something affects them. As long as it don't affect them, they try to get away with it. As long as they can get away with it. So now we need to let these people that are being affected, let them know how can they get their records, how can they make a noise, how can they get their family member back in court.
Okay, first of all, juvenile issue is a proceeding, which means that it's a civil matter. Why? Because it's under family code. So under family code, you would have to make a request to the juvenile court and ask the district clerk for access to your juvenile certification record. So the district clerk of the juvenile court, she will present that application to the judge. Okay, if the judge comes back and says that they cannot locate them records, okay, then you would go to the district court where the individual was certified to stand trial as an adult. If the district court say that they do not have the certification records, you would ask the district attorney's office to make an issue in order for them to locate them juvenile records. And if the district attorney's office say that they cannot locate these juvenile records, we are asking for an investigation into the entire process of the lost or destroyed juvenile records of every individual juvenile that's in the state of Texas or anywhere. But you have to make the request through the juvenile court first, who is certified that individual to stand trial as an adult. And then go to the district court where they got convicted at. And that's how you do that process. That's how the process works, man.
So, do they have to pay fees? How do they need to get somebody, a family member, just to go down there and ask for the record? How do they request it? Can it be something that they can do over the internet, over the phone? How do they request these records?
You can make a request to the district clerk of the juvenile proceeding. And you have to have your juvenile case number. If you got your juvenile case number and you make the request through the district clerk, that number will pop up, and the certification records will be either available online or they will not be. If the records are not available, then here it is where we're asking the district clerk of the juvenile court to contact the district court of the convicting court. Because of that, now we're asking for them to find out who has the certification record. And if there's no records now, that family can ask the district attorney's office for a new trial on their loved one. And that's where we at. So they would have to have a juvenile number and ask the district clerk to give them a copy of it. They shouldn't have to pay for it. But if they ask for people to pay for the records, they would have to give you an itemized listing of what's in the record.
All right. So they request the records, and if they don't have the records, then it's a possibility that they can get well. It's a thing they should get back into court, or how does that work?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, also destroy the records is an automatic new file. Okay, because it's a juvenile proceeding, what will happen is that the court would have to either bring that individual back to the county, and if they determine that the person is not sophisticated to stand trial, that person would have to go free because they would have to get a new proceeding. But now, because the person is much older now, then yes, if they do a certification examination, the person would be more sophisticated. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you would be more educated now, more rehabilitated now. And that was the problem. They were trying to determine whether or not these kids had room for rehabilitation. Yes, ma'am, they should have. But the courts are not allowing them that because you're giving them life without parole or life with parole, which means that they have to serve 45 years of their sentence. So now we're trying to determine whether or not the certification records can determine whether or not the person who did the certification follows the proper procedure. And if they don't have the records now, that is automatically under the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, Texas Rules of Criminal Procedure 34.5 and 34.6. Texas Code of Criminal Procedure.
So
Texas Rules of Criminal Procedure.
what classifies someone as a juvenile? Okay, in order for them to have been certified as a juvenile, certified as an adult, what age do they classify as a juvenile? Heard some people say that they were 17, 18, and 19 when they got their charges, but they got adult charges. Were they originally charged as an adult, or did they just certify them as an adult? What is the Texas age limit?
Question. Okay, here in Texas, they made it from up to 16. Okay, when you're 16 years old, you still classified as a juvenile. If you turn 17, they classify you as an adult here in Texas. Okay, true enough, you can't buy cigarettes or nothing at the age of 17. So what they did, they left the age 17 like really just took it out of the picture. Okay, to make you an adult and convicted of a crime. So now they're trying to come back now and say that kids that were 17 years old should fall in line with the kids that were juvenile. But they haven't made that determination yet. They still haven't made that determination. So now, as of right now, a person 17 to 18 are classified as adults here in the state of Texas. And they're still being convicted as adults here in the state of Texas. So the guy was earlier that got off the phone, did his show, he was 17 years old. It was a juvenile with him. They did not even charge the juvenile in his case. So here in Texas, it's up to 16 as a juvenile, and 17 to 18 as adult.
Wow, that's sad. We're gonna be definitely praying for the state of Texas. We're gonna be praying for those leaders. I'm praying that God will soften their hearts, those that have the power to make these decisions. I look at what is happening in some of the other states, how some of these governors are pardoning people and they're allowing people to go home. I listen to the things that individuals come on and talk about throughout TDCJ. I listen at the high alarming rate of suicide attempts and suicide that has been taking place and plaguing TDCJ over the last 2-3 weeks. I can say that there's been probably about 10 attempts and losses that we've lost between McConnelly and Connolly unit. But we don't hear about this in the news. We don't hear about this in the newspaper. We don't hear about this on the website. We don't hear about it on social media because they keep these things on the hush hush. These things are happening because they are overcrowded and they're understaffed. They don't have the proper mental health in place, nor do they have things that will keep these individuals engaged. I truly believe that A idle mind is the devil's workshop, and it allows for any and everything to take place if you have nothing to do. I'm a true believer that if you continue to give someone nothing to do, they'll continue to do nothing. But if you give them something to do, they'll want to do different. They'll want to do better. It's been proven. The state of Texas can say that there's no rehabilitation. They don't believe in rehabilitation, but it's possible. It's been proven. And if people want to change, they can change. It has been proven time after time after time. It is nothing that nobody has told me. It is something that I have witnessed myself and something that I teach. If you want change, you have to be that change, and your change start with the changing of your mindset. When your mind change, your heart change, and everything about you begin to change. It has been proven. So for the state of Texas to be so set on the things that they're set on, I truly believe that it is all about money with them. It is all about them having these beds filled. They can care less about the human because they show it over and over by the way they feed y'all, the total regard for hygiene. I listen to these women. I know y'all are having some harsh weather down there right now. And I listen to these women that say that they did not have water for now going on 9 days, and they have cycles. Total disregard for personal hygiene and violates human rights. Not to mention you're feeding maggots and wheat worms to them, and it's okay. You got wardens standing on the food line in the chow hall passing out food to the inmates, and it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay for you to withhold the little food, the unhuman food that you give to them, but you hold it for them, you withhold it from them, and you use it as punishment. Goes against everything. That goes against policy. That is an abuse of power. That is neglect. And so much more it can be labeled as. But y'all get away with it time after time after time. Why? Because the inmates can't speak up for themselves because y'all retaliate. Every time a family member of loved one calls, y'all retaliate. And y'all make it worse than what it was before. Call about the food. You give them cold food. You give them worse food than you was giving them before. Y'all do better. We got to do better. Y'all have heard so many inmates come on. Y'all, these people, a lot of these folks have been wrongfully incarcerated. Not to mention, you throw the book at them. You take their lives. You destroy their family lives. Some of these people have lost loved ones. Memories that can never be recreated. Memories that they can never get back. Not being able to say goodbye to your loved one. Stuff that you can't take back. There's no amount of money that you can give a person because of your greed and your power struggle. I just want to say to those that are in charge, Ron Reynolds, Sheila Jackson Lee, Monica Dela Cruz, Jasmine Crockett, Carlos Sherman, Jeff Leach, Governor Greg Abbott, Paxton, Ken Paxton, all of y'all that sit with a little authority and power. Use it the right way. Use it for the people that have elected. There's so much that y'all can be doing right now to help relieve the overcrowding. There's people that have been eligible for parole. There's people that's at the door that y'all could just let go home today. What's 2 more months? Years. A lot of these people that y'all keep holding, are y'all holding them because they can change oil, because they can mop good, because they can run your machines, because they man your offices, because they man your prison system? Is that the reason why you keep holding them? Because you know if they're there, they're help keeping order, that they're helping protect your facilities. Man, let these people go home. Let them enjoy what little bit of life they have left. See, the man in Mississippi, the governor, whoever he was, he let it slip. He said, "Oh, they letting all the good ones go home." Huh? They supposed to go home. If they've been rehabilitated, if they've done what they're supposed to do, if they've paid their debt to society, let them go home so that they can pay their debt to their families. Because they owe their families for what they've taken away, what they've allowed y'all to take away from them. Yeah, we all make mistakes. But mistakes ruin people's lives. In most cases, a lot of these people were not charged with taking people's lives. They was charged with burglary and stuff that no lives were in danger. No lives were taken. They may have took some people's stuff, but material things can be replaced. Y'all have a heart. When y'all signing these laws, think about if it was your family. You have to put yourself in both places and be impartial. You got to think about the what ifs sometimes. And what if this happened? And what if this happened? Okay, we can have some what ifs. But you got to be willing to give people a second chance. Put some programs in place. It's so much that we can do now because we have evolved as people. We have new technology. We have new skill sets. We have so much that we have evolved in as a society because people want to see better. They want to thrive. They want to do better. But y'all don't want to give them a chance because y'all stuck in the old days. Y'all stuck on what has happened to y'all and what y'all been through. Let it go. Let it go. Because we got a whole generation coming after us. And we don't need this to keep carrying over and over and over and over and over. Well, Mr. Carnell, before we leave, I want you to share with these people because I know time is winding down and I can get to talking. But if somebody is listening today, what is your message to them today?
My message, man, is that they get involved with their kids' lives, man. They get involved with the criminal justice system, man. They petition, sign letters, or whatever they can do, man, to these state representatives, to the Texas senators, and demand more from these individuals. Because down here in the state of Texas, what they're doing is waiting every 2 years, kicking the can down the road every 2 years. The law parties, the juvenile bills, the secular bills, they doing all this every 2 years. When instead now they can do a lot. trying to do that. So what's happening right now, man, we need to get with our county judges, our district attorneys, our city councilors, and everybody to try to get somebody to understand what's going on here. Okay, our state representatives, the Texas senators, and like government, man, they need to do better. And this is what they can do. So the family members that's out there, man, they need to come together, man, do better. That's just it, man. I mean, to support their kids and support their families and demand more from their city. United States Department of Justice's investigation into evidence fixing scandal. But don't nobody investigate, man. Nobody's willing to do it. So now we need some support, man. We need people to stand up and come together, man. You know, and that's where we at.
Wow. But I tell you, it's a lot. And it's going to take a lot of people coming together and standing and saying enough is enough, and that they're not going to be moved until they see change. Because change has to come in order for us to move forward, and for some of these people to come home in the state of Texas. Change is going to have to come. And if that means removing some of these elected officials out of office that's not doing what they're supposed to do, then we need some people to step up and take their posts, to take their rightful place. Somebody that's going to stand up and say, this is this and this is that, and not going to be afraid. So,
and we want to thank you too, man. We need to thank you. Well, man, you have been a powerful voice for us down here. Man, believe me. We see the Free Texas campaign everywhere. We hear about the Free Texas campaign everywhere. We hear about everything that you're doing down here. You have been a positive force for us, and we need that, and we have to appreciate you, and we thank you very much. You have given us a lot of hope, man. I'm talking about people in dark places, and we don't have no hope. You come along, man, and you gave us a voice, and we appreciate you that. But we don't have nobody down here that's doing exactly what you're doing. But that's what we need, and we appreciate you, man. The Free Texas campaign, man, has been a very positive force down here in the state of Texas, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you very much, man.
amen. Well, I'm just being obedient to what God has laid in my heart. He's given me an opportunity. He gave me another chance. I can't say he gave me a second chance, because he gave me a second chance a long time ago. He gave me another chance. He gave me another chance to impact lives. He gave me another chance by extending his grace and his mercy. So, with that being said, I'm mandated to be the change that I want to see in this world. So I have no choice but to help be that change. So in order to help be that change, I gotta be the change. So that means I got to lead by example. I can't tell nobody. I got to go do it. I got to show them. So I'm just doing what God has placed in my heart. He's given me the opportunity to be a part of several powerful platforms. The Crew podcast. He gave me that vision. And it has allowed me to have 7 amazing hosts that's doing their thing, and being a platform for people from around the world, not just here in the United States, but around the world, to share their voice. 1 minute left. So thank you for coming on and being that voice for those that are in TDCJ, and for what you do, because I know that you do a lot of legal work for those that are incarcerated. So thank you for giving them an opportunity to shed light on their cases and connecting me with a lot of these individuals. So thank you for what you do. Y'all, again, um, please keep those that are behind walls in prayer. Keep them lifted up. We definitely going to be praying for them as we go into prayer February the 1st, 5 a.m. prayer, 121 days of prayer. That is going to be one of our main priorities, is to pray for those that are incarcerated. So if you are a prayer warrior, you're an intercessor, I definitely want you to join us, because we're expecting God to move on a lot of people's behalf. Not just the state of Texas, but on a lot of people's behalf that's incarcerated. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. And I try to do this every Monday. We've not had a lot of people coming on because of the holidays, and during the holidays, they just be going through. They've had a lot of deaths within the TDCJ. I know those two particular units that I work with, McConnell and Connolly, they've had some attempts and they've had some successful ones, y'all. So y'all definitely keep them in prayer. God dropped in my spirit to do those two books, Spreading Hope, The Forgotten Kings and the Forgotten Queens. So that's what I'm doing. The Queen's book is out. I am looking for writers for the King's book. So if you are a king and you want to share inside of this book, spread some hope, spread some love, join me. There's a joke link. The fee is $25. Join me and allow your voice to speak. Somebody needs you. Y'all heard that gentleman. He lost hope. And y'all have heard many of them come on here. They've lost hope and they need a voice. So y'all, the Crew Podcast will be back in 9 days. So make sure y'all are ready to tune in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single night, except for Tuesdays. Tuesdays are going to be our break night. We're going to be off air on Tuesday. So y'all get to hear these amazing divas Wednesday through Monday. Wednesday through Monday every week, you get to hear these amazing divas. So make sure that you stop by and check us out. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Happy Monday. Have a great week. And y'all, I'll see y'all back here next week. Same time, same channel. Love y'all. Be blessed.